It's been a really fast-moving, exciting last couple of days here in Waco, but right here at the Herd Center earlier this evening, Doug McNamee was introduced as Baylor's new athletic director in Royden. It's a very different hire, as Doug's background hasn't really been in college athletics in the last, 7 years or so, but could be a really good hire that ends up paying off in the long run.
Yeah, he last worked with Baylor Athletics in 2018, but since then he has been the president of fans may know this name, Magnolia, but he was also the president of Field and Stream magazine, the reimagined Field and Stream magazine with the likes of Morgan Wallen and Eric Church. You also may know that names, but he had to make a call and say that he was taking the Baylor Athletics job. But like you mentioned, it is a different purview for Doug McNamee coming in here, taking over an entire Baylor Athletics program after not working in athletics, like I mentioned, since 2018.
Yeah, and Baylor's kind of standing strong by that they want this hire to be really different because this is a fast-moving, very different landscape of college athletics as we've seen the last few years. But we've seen other schools, UNC, Notre Dame, have made similar hires like this, and we're also kind of hoping, or at least Baylor's hoping, that this is going to help on the NIL front.
Yeah, they really need to raise funds for NIL in this ever-changing landscape that kind of takes precedent over everything. And it may have been reported that Baylor was maybe falling behind in that a little bit, and President Linda Livingstone admitted in a Q&A that they had figured some things out, but not all things with the ever-changing landscape of NIL and revenue sharing. So that is what Doug McNamee has come in to kind of batten down the hatches and make things right in that area.
Yeah, and you talk about the ever-changing landscape. Baylor 5-7, not a traditional bowl-eligible team as they wrapped up the season a few weeks ago, and they didn't think they were going to go to bowl, but they had an opportunity actually to play in reportedly the Birmingham Bowl, but they turned it down. And we actually got the chance to ask Linda Livingstone as well as Doug McNamee about that decision to decline the bowl invitation. Here's what they had to say.
As we evaluated that situation, we felt like, given the season that we had, that was disappointing for all of us, the better use of our time and energy over the next 2 or 3 weeks was to focus on next year and to prepare for the portal. The financial piece, we would have lost money going to that particular bowl. That wasn't really a factor in the decision that we made. We kind of put the financial piece of it to the side. It was really more about where should our time and energy be spent.
I fully support and agree with the decision. Priority for us is a successful 2026 year. And what's the best interest for our student athletes. And with a lot of transition, a lot of moving parts, we didn't think that was in the best interest of our program to go to a bowl game.
Yeah, very good and fair explanation from both Doug McNamee and Linda Livingstone. I think, from our perspective, I think it's the right call. Baylor's not going to be in a postseason bowl, especially with the transfer portal window about to open up. You got to get your NIL ducks in a row, and also you just hired a new AD. I don't know if that's necessarily the best choice to go play in a bowl game a few weeks later.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with them that looking forward to 2026 is something that Baylor fans could get behind. Obviously, it may have cost them money to go play in that Birmingham Bowl, but I believe it was probably the right decision to not venture out, especially when all of your staff has been saying, or Dave Aranda at least has been saying, that we're really kind of focused on moving forward with this program. So it'll be interesting to see what they do and what they implement going forward, especially like we keep mentioning with NIL revenue sharing, looking forward into 2026.
Again, Doug McNamee, the newest Baylor athletic director, and we'll be reporting a lot more on this in these coming weeks. From the Herd Center for Royden Ogletree and KWTX News 10, I'm Chad Vothery.